Welcome back to another season, another episode, new name change. Dude.
Yeah. So, are we gonna get into the whole?
Yeah. So I'm just gonna. Well, I guess it's after the intro. A little rusty because it's been a while, you know.
Yeah. So this is backyard bullshit.
No,
not anymore. No.
We made it PG. The Fruitful 3 show, which Eli thinks is gay. But guess what? That means we have more of an open market. Yes, we have branched out.
Just bend over and take it, buddy.
I guess so. That was not the purpose of why we changed the name.
If you have forgotten, I'm Levi Kelowitz, and this is Isaiah Kelowitz.
Yes.
He actually has an intro if you want to.
Yeah, I got notes. Today we got a jam-packed episode diving into everything Nebraska sports, bro. Because football and volleyball, it's all happening. Excitement in the air. And we have updates of the recent Olympics that took place in France. And we got that all covered. So let's kick this off with why we changed our name, though, first.
Okay.
You want it? You want me to have it?
Well, a little bit was because of the swear word in there. A little bit because there's a lot of people out there that don't agree with it, or if you have a swear word in your name, it doesn't look mature. It kind of looks immature in a sense. So that was part of the reason.
Another reason was backyard bullshit was actually already taken. When I did my research, I didn't find the podcast. I guess I didn't do deep enough, but it is taken.
And so I'll let Isaiah speak more on this of how the Fruitful 3 came along, but we went back to the drawing board because of those reasons to figure out what would be a best name to promote this podcast and to get more viewers and to open the door to new people. One of the ideas we came up with was Backyard Profits because we thought about sticking with the same backyard theme. And since we all have biblical names and all of our first names were prophets in the Bible, we thought about going that route, but Isaiah over here had a different idea and decided to take it a different route.
Well, you also mentioned that the Apostles 3 or the prophetic 3 or something, if you would take apostles or prophets and look up synonyms for them, you end up with the word fruitful or something along those lines. And originally I was going to do the fruitful tree, as in tree, as meaning 3 in different languages, or tree meaning the tree of life or the tree of knowledge or, all that fun stuff. But that's already taken, so I went with the Fruitful 3, which are 3 brothers.
Welcome to year 2024, man.
Yeah.
Trying to come up with a name is almost impossible.
So hard, bro. So hard. So everything's taken pretty much. So we got the Fruitful 3 for the tree of life or tree of knowledge, interconnected. 3 for the 3 brothers. Eli's mainly not on this because he likes doing his own thing. But when we get him on,
Yep.
So there's that. And fruitful also
means can be knowledgeable.
Knowledgeable.
So hopefully we are bringing you guys our insights and our knowledge on certain topics. And hopefully that helps you lean either one way or the other, whether you agree with us or not. That's totally your choice.
That is your choice because you have the First Amendment. Is that a pretty good statement?
Yeah.
Think we can leave it there?
Yeah.
We'll let you be the judge, in the comments and stuff. You like the name.
If you have any suggestions we are also open to those. Granted, we may or may not take that, but if you have another name that might work a lot better, let us know, and we'll definitely take it into consideration. Or if you have any topics that you would like us to cover in the future, that's also something that you can comment down below, and we'll do our best.
Very important. So this week we're going to talk about Husker sports, and next week we're going to talk about the NFL.
Obviously, as
it's kickoff season.
Yep, obviously as it kicks off, so we figured we're big sports fans, and one, we're big Husker fans, and two, next week is going to get really entertaining because my Kansas City Chiefs, a.k.a. the Super Bowl champs, have a rematch with his
Ravens, bro.
With his Baltimore Ravens, which they played in the AFC Championship
Honestly,
game.
Are you down to go? Because I might see if there's last-minute tickets for cheap, and if there's a last-minute ticket, I'm going.
No, I can't go.
You can't go?
Because I took a promotion.
And you gotta go weekend.
I know, I was so excited too, and then all of a sudden I figured that out, and I thought about buying last-minute tickets too.
We're going to go to last-minute tickets of a Husker game then. We're going to do that, or a volleyball game.
Colorado?
Is that a home game?
I think Colorado's home here. Let me look that up real quick for you guys.
I'm going to go into the Olympics. So, the Olympics were hosted in France. I don't know why, in Paris. We ended tied with gold medals with China, 40-40. But we dominated in the medals.
It is here.
Oh, it is here.
And it's a late game. It's an evening game.
So we're going to go see if there's cheap tickets.
Oh, crap.
Oh, is that on the same week that
September 7th. That's the same weekend of the Chiefs.
Well, there we go.
I hate my new unit. I haven't even drilled with them, and I hate them.
It happens. They know, it's always they know. They just know your schedule. They know who you like, and they got a plan around it.
Because, man, that would have been great.
So,
hey, we could go to the Iowa game.
Yeah, I thought about the Iowa game.
For the last one.
But that's in Iowa. So you want to make the trip to Iowa? I don't even know where Iowa Stadium is. Anyway.
It's technically like right across the border.
Yeah, because isn't it in Council Bluffs or Des Moines?
Des Moines is a little bit farther. But it is literally right on the Iowa border because right behind them is a children's museum.
So it'd be Council Bluffs, which is Omaha, Council Bluffs.
Yeah.
That ain't bad. Okay. And can I finish my Olympics now?
Okay, sorry. Side note.
So, United States topped the medal table with a staggering 126 medals, including 40 gold, 44 silvers, and 42 bronze. This marked a historic tie with China, who also claimed 40 gold medals. It was the first ever gold medal tie in Summer Olympic history. Can you believe that? Notably, the U.S. excelled in swimming and track and field, securing 28 medals in swimming and 34 in track and field. China made significant gains in diving, shooting tables, tennis, and wrestling. France, the host nation, finished impressively with 64 medals, including 16 golds, while Australia rounded out the top four with 53 medals. It was a strong showing by nations like France and Australia, despite their smaller populations. Looking ahead, Team USA performance sends high expectations for the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. What a memorable chapter in Olympic history.
It was very, very debatable.
That
there was
I forgot to add that to my notes, but yes.
I mean, there was as much as interesting and historical markings that the Olympic had. There was a lot of controversy that went on throughout the whole thing. It all started with the
Last Supper.
Supposedly the drag queens doing the Last Supper. Now, I personally don't know if that's what they were intending to do.
Yeah.
But, I mean, a lot of people took that as an attack on Christianity and everything else, and then there's also
I see it both ways. It's kind of mocking Jesus, especially when you have a trans or a drag queen play as Jesus. but I also saw it as they were trying to unite everybody under Christianity through being drags and like we can all get along.
So was that like I've never actually did much research on it. I mean I did some research, but was that actually what they were trying to implement was the Last Supper, or was it a different, because there's articles out there that said it had nothing to do with the Last Supper and that people are taking it out of context?
Well, I honestly I didn't read much into it, but that's also I was told it was the Last Supper.
Right.
And they had a picture that looked like the Last Supper, but with all the tools, you know how easily that can be edited and missed.
And then they had the white horse with the angelic wings that was prophesied in Revelation. They had that to where the end is coming, and so on and so forth. And they would use that as mocking Christianity too. I don't know their exact purpose. I've read several articles.
I didn't. I just read taglines.
Yeah, I didn't do a lot of research on it, but when there were certain articles that popped up that had kind of interesting headlinings, I read the article and they varied so much.
Yeah.
So
also there was the controversy between trans boxing with women. It was a trans man, right? Yeah, trans man that turned into a woman, or trans woman.
But
technical term, I think.
They actually got that sorted out.
Did they?
Yeah. So it was actually born a biological female. She was born with a disease. Oh, we can't call it a disease, but a genetic disorder. There we go.
Mutation, maybe.
Where, and I can't remember the name of it right now, but apparently your body produces too much testosterone. So, like when she went, and the state that, or the country that she represented actually banned transsexuals and actually banned gender changes, and it's like automatic crucifixion, well, automatic death, I should say, not early crucifixion, but basically you're slaughtered on sight if you want to change genders, or if you identify as how their country is ruled. But no, there's a lot of deals about that. But yeah, and then she last year in like the big national boxing thing, she was eliminated from the championship round because she tested positive for having XY chromosomes, but that's because of her
testosterone.
So
genetic.
So with that being said, is I can understand when you go in there and
you knock out,
you completely take a couple hits and you get knocked out as a woman, and you're like, this is totally unfair because I've never been hit this hard in my entire life. So I can understand the rage there, and then I can also understand that knowing the fact. I mean, I don't know if she knew that she got disqualified from the championship round last year, but guarantee you she did, because you know a lot of that stuff when you're in that world. So I think she kind of just put two and two together and made her claim. Later on, she did apologize. She made a statement saying she apologized and so on and so forth, and felt bad for the way she acted and everything else, and said she shouldn't have treated her that way and it was unfair. But it's when you have genetic disorders like that, it gets really
complicated.
Because you can go in and take tests, and then if you come back with male chromosomes, they're gonna identify you. But if you're but when you dig deeper in the birth certificate, it says you were born a female. That's kind of undeniable right there. Especially in a country where if she wanted to change to where she got murdered, I don't think I would either leave the country and not have any association with that country and go do what I want to do, or I would just suck it up and be like, yep, I'm a boy or I'm a girl.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how I feel, this is I gotta live with it. That's just me. Or at least that's your best two options. Is leave and don't come back, or deal with whatever you were born into.
Right. Are we done with the Olympics?
Yeah, moving along.
Moving along to volleyball. Not any volleyball, we're moving along to Nebraska volleyball. This season, I almost said a bad word. This season is shaping up to be historic. The Huskers will have an impressive 17 matches televised, including the first ever college volleyball match on NBC.
Whoa.
Mark your calendars for October 19th when Nebraska faces Ohio State in this milestone broadcast. I want to know the ticket prices to that match.
I want to know the ticket prices, and I also like why NBC. Like,
I think NBC was the one that reached out to them. They were like, I
was just curious of out of.
It was because they saw how popular and how cool it was, and they I think Ohio was also like that, and they were like, oh, maybe they saw the views, the ratings, and they were like, we need to get our hands on that.
So not only one, but two NBC showings. You got Wisconsin on October 26th, supposedly.
Which is also another rival, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got two Big Ten headers, basically back-to-back weekends on NBC.
It's going to be a busy October. Busy October. And then November 9th, for fans, they have key matchups on ESPN2 and Fox Sports 1, such as, Wisconsin on NBC, October 26th and November 9th.
Oh, so 3 NBC shows.
Yeah. In 3 weeks? Is that really back to back to back? Because the 26th of October, the 19th of October,
so the 19th, so that'd be almost.
Because there's 31 days in October, so if we go 31, that's 5. No, it's the next weekend.
October
so
19th, so then the 26th.
So that skip a week, then November 9th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it would be November. The next Saturday would be your birthday, man.
Oh, yeah. Is it my birthday?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's going to be so crazy. Wow. What another day. That's on a Saturday?
Yeah.
Oh. Guess party all day.
Can go party it up, bro.
I guess so. A whole whopping 24. Look at what I did with my life.
Yay!
And look what I'm doing with my life. Yay! August 27th versus Kentucky at 6 p.m. on ESPN2 is also a game that's highlighted. And September 10th versus Creighton, which are Nebraska State versus each other at 7 p.m. on BTN, or Big Ten Network.
Yeah. I forgot to do.
So, this will be a great matchup. Great matchup.
Yeah. And Creighton's always had a decent volleyball team too. So.
It is. So
they've always had a good volleyball team and a good basketball team. So
the fan engagement for Nebraska volleyball is through the roof. Last season, a record crowd of 92,000 attended a match, and that was the kickoff game, right?
Yeah, that was
in
at
Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, obviously, as we're a big volleyball state, we decided to play volleyball in football stadiums.
Yeah, because we cool like that. And the tickets for some games are fetching up to $75 a ticket, which I think that is way too cheap. Which legendary coach John Cook leading the team, and standout players like Lexi Rodriguez and Taylor Landfair, who was the 2022 Big Ten Player of the Year. Expectations are sky high. But the female coach, I heard she was leaving, supposedly.
Oh,
is that true? I don't know. I saw a tagline, a news line, but I never read it. I didn't read it. Despite some off-season drama, including the situation with Harper Murray, the team is poised for greatness. They're aiming to make a serious run for the national championship.
They're always in the running for a national championship.
Honestly.
I mean, as long as John Cook stays the head coach, they're always going to be... They're going to be Big Ten contenders. Big Ten championship contenders, and they're going to be in the running for a natty.
Oh yeah, they're always. They better win one of these times. We need a banner, not just a runner-up. We need a banner.
Yeah, well, we had one. Wasn't it like 16? Wasn't that the last one we?
Yeah, too long ago. Okay, we've been like runner-up ever since. Okay,
I know.
We need to bring home the banners, bro.
Man, last year we should have. I don't know how well we.
I don't remember.
Last year we lost to Texas.
Yeah.
In like 3 sets. I don't even know how we.
It was sad. It was miserable to watch.
Because like I at least wanted 5 sets. I mean, as much as I wanted Nebraska to win that thing, like if you would have had an edge of the seat 5 sets, that would have been the perfect national championship instead of just 3 sets done.
Mm-hmm.
Like that honestly to me was the most disappointment because what is it? I wanted an actual thriller game where it was intense and then you just drop 3 right in a row and very, very disappointed.
Very disappointed. Oh, also, I'm sorry. I had something else for Olympics that I thought of this. I didn't write it down. So you know how in other countries they ban dyes and chemicals that we put additives, I should say, in foods. Here in America, we don't care because you're a land of the free, so you can be fat, right?
Government.
I mean, if you look at the thing, it's like, hey, food is fat. It was what meant wealthy back in the old days. So America with all the additives and stuff, it's like, hey, this is proving that we're wealthy. So
no, we're just fat and lazy.
Yeah. So anyway, it's kind of funny that we dominate medals like all the time in the Olympics. I understand we have a bigger country and stuff, but it's food for thought. Does those dyes and additives actually help in the performance, or is it that they skip those and stuff? I don't know. That's just food for thought because other countries have additives and dyes banned. I don't know what the Olympics athletes eat, but just food for thought. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I know, like, I can tell you, like, NFL players eat a lot of
candy. Every time they answer an interview, it's something about candy.
Yeah, they eat a lot of that. They drink a lot of beer.
And those are all additives.
And those all have additives. But I also know that they do a lot of training and exercise, and they also eat the right nutrition and so on and so
they
forth.
Have agents to nutritionists, I should say, to do all that for them. But with eating the dyes and additives, does that have a benefit to the athletics?
Or is the dyes and additives like for their cheat days, and then the rest of the days they keep them out?
See, that's also a good question. See, so food for thought. Just go ahead and leave us your comment.
So, while we're on that topic, the other day, I saw a TikTok, and it was an actual pastor talking about it, and he was referring more to like Jesus and church and the Bible and stuff like that, but he made a prime example that goes with this. So he brings up one of his congregational members or buddies, whatever, up on stage, and he's like a huge bodybuilder, just like big into bodybuilding. And he goes, him and I go to the same gym, listen to the same music, lift the same weights, so on and so forth. And you look at me and you look at him, why do we look the same? And he goes, well, the difference is he takes the gym with him when he goes home and says, well, I went to the gym so I can't eat this. I go to the gym to justify my life, or justify that I can eat this. So, oh, hey, I went to the gym, I worked out, so I can't have this brownie. He goes, oh, I went to the gym, so I can't have that brownie. Because so it made me think of, like, maybe that is the athletic mindset, is because, like, we can go to a gym, we can work out all we want, and then it's like, what are you justifying by working out? Are you actually taking the gym home with you, or you went to the gym to justify your lifestyle? Say like, hey, I ate all this crap. So now I
gotta lose
now
it.
now I gotta lose it.
I gotta work out. I mean, yes and no. It's kind of like why I do weekends, eat junk food. Weekdays, I don't. It balances, so that you get your carbs and stuff on the weekends and keep the protein high on the weekdays. Yeah. I had something. I should have wrote it down because now I forgot it.
Yeah.
I have a notebook for a reason. I said no excuses tonight. And dang it.
But yeah, no, that's now we're gonna get into. Or are you done?
Yeah, I'm done with volleyball.
Okay. Now we're gonna get into the fun stuff. Football.
Woo!
El Football Day Americano.
Yeah.
Yeah. The real man sport.
I think there's other real man sports than just football, but I hate the bear of bad news. But there's like boxing and MMA and UFC and whatever else there could be, like maybe like axe throwing. Axe throwing isn't on there, but
I don't know. I just love football, man.
I know you love football, so you know what? You want this section?
I can have a section.
I mean, I will give you this whole section if you want this whole section.
Cool. Let's have this whole section. Or do you just want me to keep my random facts as I throw them in while you do it? Alright, so we're switching gears to Husker football. Alright, so there's a lot of excitement around the Cornhuskers as they head into the 2024 season.
But yet they still don't rank 25.
What does that word even mean, buddy? You wrote it on your sheet.
The buzz is palpable.
What do you say? As Matt Rule enters his second year and the arrival of true freshman quarterback Dylan Raiola, who is expected to make a big impact, which recently he was actually named the starter against UTEP. If you don't know who Dylan Raiola is, his uncle Donovan is the line coach, and Dylan Raiola was I believe the number one quarterback in the nation last year. He originally picked Georgia to go to Georgia, and then at last minute he flipped his commitment to Nebraska. His dad was a Cornhusker back in the 90s. So his dad was a lineman for us back in the 90s. So there's a lot of buzz around Dylan because he spent the off-season training with Mahomes down in Kansas City, and Mahomes is quarterback coach down there. And there's a lot of similarities between Raiola and Mahomes and their style of play. So it's really exciting to me to see how this all transitions. He actually showed up to training camp rocking the Mahomes haircut and the Mahomes shades and literally looked like a Mahomes twin to training camp. So that took a lot of buzz. I'm actually really excited to see how he does because I know the potential that he has and what he can do, and it's been a long time since Nebraska has had an elite quarterback. Since we are on the quarterback topic, Nebraska actually has a stacked quarterback room right now. They have another Elite 11 player, which Dylan Raiola was an Elite 11 competitor. Elite 11 is you take the best 11 quarterbacks in the nation and you send them through quarterback drills and see how they actually come out. Dylan Raiola, I believe, I want to say he ranked in the top 5. I don't actually remember. And then our other one out of Omaha, which is Daniel Kalen, he ranked number 10. He got really good grades. There was nothing special that stood out to bump him up, but all around, he was a all-around quarterback. He could do anything they asked him. He did everything right. Like I said, unfortunately there wasn't enough in him because he was just a all-around centered, can do anything type quarterback. There was nothing special that stuck out to them in the competition, so that's why he kind of dropped. And then we still have Harburg. So we have
I was going to call him Harback. That's not. I was like, that's not right.
So we still have Harburg, too, in our quarterbacks room. So those three guys.
Nebraska boys.
Good old Carney guy right there. Yeah, so I'm kind of excited to see how this whole quarterback room works out because you have somebody like Harburg who has the experience. You have somebody like Daniel Kalen who is an all-around quarterback. And then you have somebody like Dylan Raiola who is just a special raw talent type guy. I believe this year was really, really competitive in that room. I can only imagine.
I hope we see some try quarterback plays.
Yeah.
Plays.
So we're going to get into like key players later on, but one of my personal key players is actually Harburg because of the fact that he was willing to switch to running back or wide receiver until his name got called upon to play quarterback last year.
And he stepped into a big, and he did pretty well. He did. I won't say he's the greatest. I hope he did work, because he's the one that fumbled a lot, right? No, that was
Purdy. Wasn't it Purdy?
It might have been. Someone was talking trash on
Harburg.
Harburg. I want to say Harburg. It's Harburg. But, you know, he stepped in and he balled out, you know, and I was really impressed with his talent and everything. I was excited to see him play more.
Yeah, so like I said, he was willing to change positions to help the team because all he cares about is playing and winning. So, and he's willing to do whatever needs to be done to help the team win. So with that being said, is the fact that he was willing to step up and out of his comfort zone and try a new position tells me a lot about the kid. And so now that you have a once-in-a-lifetime talent in Dylan Raiola, I wonder what they're going to use Harburg for. Could he be the next Taysom Hill of college football?
I think there's going to be some trick plays. So people who are not from Nebraska scouting, you know, I'm just warning you, there's probably going to be trick plays. I'll give you the playbook, too. Just, you know, you just got to personally DM me, $300.
Nicole Hardman, knock it off.
Hey, I'm just trying to get some money, you know?
All he wanted was out of New York.
He got out of New York.
He got out of New York and got another Super Bowl ring.
And then he got traded off, and now he's back with Kansas City again.
He didn't get traded. No, he signed a one-year contract at the end of the year.
I thought he got traded back to a different team. Got traded off to a different team.
No, it was the last year he got traded to the New York Jets.
Yeah, I know he went to the Jets.
Yeah.
But then I thought after this season...
Oh, no, he signed a one-year contract.
Oh.
So, yeah. All right. So, moving on, Nebraska is predicted to finish the season with an 8-4 record. Man. We're bowl eligible, baby.
Yeah.
Exceeding the Vegas over and under of 7.5 wins. Key games include matchups against UTEP, Colorado, and Northern Iowa, with tougher tests against Rutgers, Indiana, Ohio State, and USC. Speaking of USC, we have 3 new schools coming into the Big Ten.
That's where Frost used to coach USC, right?
No, UCF.
Oh, UC, okay.
So Colorado is going to be a very interesting game because we have been having recruiting wars with Deion Sanders during the offseason. He pulled a couple of our guys and we stole a couple of his. So that's going to be entertaining. As I mentioned, we have 3 new teams, and was it USC? Was it UCLA? I think it is.
You gotta look up the schedule. Just look up the schedule.
Yeah. So UCLA, Oregon, and UCLA or USC. Yep. I can't remember the third one. So yeah, that's going to make things interesting.
Make playoffs more interesting.
Speaking of playoffs, they are going to a 12-team playoff bracket this year.
So is that going to follow what guidelines you kind of wanted to see?
No, not really, because they're still going to be all... So the problem is now that you're getting these 12 teams in there, a lot of these teams are going to try to get into Power 5 schools, and it's going to get more packed. And so the way they have it set up is the top 4 teams have bye weeks, and then they play it out, and then so those 8 teams play each other, and then those 4 fall into the mix. No, because it's still going to get screwed up. Long story short is the way I wanted it was whoever won your championship game was automatically in for that division or for that conference. If you lost, you were automatically out of the playoff contention, because I realize you can make several arguments there, but what it does is it makes the championship game more important, and it brings a lot more meaning to it than just go, oh hey, I'm your Big Ten championship, but I lost in the playoffs. Whoop-de-doo. No, it brings more, to me it makes it more interesting. The team is looking to improve discipline, reduce reliance on luck, and increase offensive firepower. With a more experienced roster and top recruits like Raiola, Nebraska is trending upward. However, managing turnovers will be crucial for success. So, speaking of Raiola as a top recruit and trending in the upward position, Raiola's impact on Nebraska has already been phenomenal, because there's been recruits out there that we probably never would have landed if it wasn't for Raiola, because I can tell you I can't think of who it is right now off the top of my head, but there's a running back there. He is a top 5 running back, wasn't even looking at Nebraska, and Dylan literally personally went out of his way to contact him because he wanted him in Nebraska and thought he'd be a good fit to our offense. And so if Dylan is willing to do that and go try to get top recruits for us and recruit for us, that's phenomenal for Nebraska football, because that just means we are bringing in a lot more talent. It's going to get a lot more competitive in that locker room. And that's honestly what we need. We need a lot of competition, because yes, I realize you're all on the same team, but when you compete with each other and you're competing for a starting spot, tensions get high, fights might break out, so on and so forth. But at the same time, those guys have your back, and all you're trying to do is build each other up and build them better and make them stronger. What is that? Sharpening iron is what it's called. Yeah. Speaking of, so the other, on the whole discipline and reliance of luck and stuff like that, so we had a lot of mental errors last year that cost us a lot of games. One thing Matt Rule did this year was he decided to open up 2 or 3 days to training camp, and it was for family members and family members only, because a lot of times is when you're in front of your family, you feel a lot of pressure. And you feel like you can't do anything wrong, and so on and so forth. So his theory behind that was, if I bring in the family and I'm going to try to get them to zone out their family, because if they can zone out their family and focus on their assignment, then they can zone out the crowd. And so that was his theory. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that actually pans out this year, because I think it's a really...
It's a good idea.
It's a really good idea. The only person he did not turn away during training camp was Tom Osborne. Tom Osborne showed up and stayed there all through training camp. But obviously, as Osborne's a legend at Nebraska, you're not going to tell... yeah, you're not going to tell a legend like Tom Osborne to leave. This is my show. No, you're going to honor... You're going to listen. You're going to see what insights he has, and you're going to honor the fact that he wants to be there and watch what you're doing. But yeah, so I'm really interested, like I said, I'm really interested to see how that pans out, because I thought that was a really cool deal to try to do, because there was a lot of... Matt Rule was not happy with how practices went with parents and so on and so forth, because there was a lot of people trying to do too much or this and that, and
trying to coach.
And he broke it down really well. There's a video out there. He broke it down to why he did this. He said, I did this because we had too many mental errors, and if you guys can get past the fact that your family's watching you and focus on your assignments, then we can hopefully get through stressful situations on the football field. One exciting development is the introduction of single-digit jerseys for the 10 toughest players on the team. So Matt Rule implemented this last year. The players that got the jerseys are people who show great leadership, are tough, like they stand out in practice. I mean, it just he has the list goes on and on and on. But it's guys that he thinks are doing what is right and leading by example, and the other guys should be looking up to. And so I think it's really cool because you don't just get to pick jerseys like other teams. You have to actually earn your jerseys. It's kind of like the black shirts in a sense, where you got to earn your black shirt on defense. So I think it's really cool that he started doing this, and I think it's really cool that he also continued to stick to his rules and how he wanted to implement this. So this year's selections include defensive standouts like Nash Hutmaker, Ty Robinson. New honorees are Jamari Butler and Tommy Hill.
Now Nash Hutmaker is a beast.
He is. So these two guys, Nash and Ty, are guys that could have gone pro, and they had the opportunity to go pro, or they had the opportunity, because they graduated last year, they had the opportunity to not come back. But they saw the direction of this football team, they liked the direction it was heading, and they wanted to come back because they wanted to be a part of this. And so to me is when you have guys like that, that shows not just only the trust in your coaching staff, but it also shows that if your players are buying into the system, you're obviously heading in the right direction. So, because if the players don't believe that you're heading in the right direction, they're obviously not going to want to come back. But the fact that these guys wanted to come back because they wanted to be a part of something special, like I said, that to me is phenomenal, because that says a lot about the type. One, it says a lot about the type of character that they are and the type of person they are. Two, it says a lot about your coaching staff and that they believe that the coaching staff is doing what is right to get Nebraska in the right direction and possibly bowl eligible again.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, as we're in the longest college drought right now. Tommy Hill is another guy that I look forward to watching, because Tommy Hill last year literally played anywhere and everywhere. He played wideout, he played safety, he played corner, he played on special teams.
He just was like, let's go.
Yeah, he just basically balled out.
He's the let's
all
go
over.
player. Let's go.
So I am really interested to see how they use Tommy Hill this year, because I think they're going to use him more defensively than anything. But it is really, really interesting to see a guy with that much of a skill set that can play all over.
Are you getting into the top 11?
Top 11
players?
Yeah, I was doing. Your single-digit jerseys is Nash Hutmaker. He will wear 0. 1 is Jamari Butler. 2 is Isaac Gifford, which I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does again. 3 is Marquise Buford. 4 is Jamal Banks. 5 is John Bullock. 6, Tommy Hill. 7, Malcolm Hartzog, which I'm really interested to see how he steps up into a role. because he was kind of like our backup corner last year. Deshaun Singleton is coming back. He has number 8. And then again, he has number 8. And then obviously Ty Robinson is going to wear number 9 again. So yeah, those guys are your 10 single-digit players. And then, the Elite 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked about that, the quarterback.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So the Elite 11, as I mentioned earlier. So Dylan Raiola actually finished number 1 in there. And then, like I said, at number 10 was Daniel Kalen. Like I said, Daniel Kalen had a total package. Wasn't really anything special that stood out.
If Nebraska can address turnover issues and harness the potential of Raiola, they might finish with the record as strong as 9-3. It's going to be a season full of growing pains and excitement, so stay tuned. Nebraska Nation, Husker Nation, the Big Red Nation, the Corn Nation, the Beef State.
Oh, that was another thing I wanted to talk about too. So this year is, we're talking about different names. So during spring camp, they took the old Nebraska names of Bug Eaters.
Wasn't there a bat something?
What was it? It was Bug Eaters. It was Golden Knights, I think it was.
Golden Knights would have been dope.
It was something else. I can't remember, but they divided the coaching staff up into teams, like into coaching staffs, and then they basically drafted their own players
for flag football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they went out and they practiced and they competed and they actually did games.
Tournaments.
Yep, tournaments like weightlifting. Mm-hmm. They did like a combine, like an NFL combine. So like all these guys were getting graded off of this, and teams, I mean, it was basically like track and field where every player got certain points, but yet at the end of the day, the team got a certain point, and then they actually did like elimination rounds where they actually competed with each other. And I think that was really cool because not only does it build camaraderie, but it's also a lot of great competition, and you might get to spend time with a player that you don't normally get to spend time with. Because like if you're a special teams coach and you don't get to spend time with defensive players very much, you get to go coach this defensive player that you enjoy watching on Saturdays that you don't get to spend a lot of time with. So I think that was a big thing. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to get into key players here.
Maybe. Full load technology nowadays.
So the top 10 players. Number 1 is obviously Nash Hutmaker. He's the heart of a defense.
Just a beast.
We honestly had one of the best defenses in a long time. We currently have the best defense in the Big Ten last year. Unfortunately,
it didn't pay off.
They say defenses win championships, but when your offense can't score points,
yeah,
it makes it really, really...
Yeah, or your offense just keeps turning over the ball.
And then you have the Nebraska's best pass rusher from last year. He's at 6'5", 260 pounds, coming off the best career of his life with 34 tackles, 8.5 stops for loss, and 5.5 sacks. You got Jamari Butler. Woo! And number 3 coming in on the list. Or you want me to go down this? I'm in. So number 3 on the list is obviously quarterback Dylan Raiola. Obviously, as I've already talked about, the big giant buzz that went around. Right. Number 4. Coming in at number 4 is Tommy Hill. As I mentioned, he's a versatile and athletic. Played offense, defense, and special teams.
Can do it all.
He was Nebraska's best cover defender in the secondary last year. Number 5 is wide receiver Jamal Banks. He has a chance to be wide receiver number 1 for Nebraska. He has a transfer from Wake Forest, where last year he posted 101 catches for 1,289 yards and 13 touchdowns. Number 6 is Ty Robinson, obviously he's a veteran with 33 career starts, and he is a great run stuffer and has a lot of fun at batting down passes. Just a big dude who loves football. Number 7 is wide receiver Isaiah Neuer. He is another transfer from Wyoming. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. Last year he posted 44 catches for 878 yards and 12 TDs. So I'm kind of looking forward to see how he transfers into this offense. Obviously, number 8, you have one of the most physical and emotional leaders on the defense, safety Isaac Gifford. He led the team last year with 86 tackles while breaking up a career best of 8 passes. This player right here is one of the players that I'm really looking forward to. He's a big dude, played in Baylor, played at Florida, just a powerhouse type guy, and we somehow managed to pick him up in the transfer portal. Guard Mike Mazkua, he had 21 career starts under his belt. Number 10, we're sticking with the offensive line still. We have second-year Husker Ben Scott, who had all Big Ten mentions last year. 3 years of starting experience going back to his Arizona State days. Yeah, he has a transfer last year, so last year was his first year with us. Yeah, so those 10 guys are key players that we need to watch for, and I honestly think that our offensive line is going to be crazy good this year with the auditions that we have made. So I kind of really look forward to seeing how everything comes together. So going back to the offensive line, the last few years we've had a lot of offensive line struggles. I mean, a prime example of that is Adrian Martinez. I was never a big Martinez fan, but that's due to personal reasons. But the guy who had crazy athleticism, and it was partially coaching too, is why I didn't really care much for him. But no, Adrian Martinez was a prime example of a guy that he had a lot of athleticism, had a lot of talent, didn't really have a great offensive line, and was always running for his life. And then he went to K-State and looked really good there. And then he also just won a championship last year with an actual team. So you look at somebody like that, of what he can do with an offensive line and the right protection. So you add these guys to our offensive line with guys that are big guys from other schools that are going to hopefully make an immediate impact on the game and give Dylan a lot of time back there to do what he does. That's going to be awesome. If Nebraska can address turnover issues and harness the potential of our, I don't know if I've mentioned. You read that already?
So we're on to sports betting and fan engagement if you're done with Huskers. Yeah.
Unless, of course, you got any matchups you're looking forward to this year.
Other than Colorado, I'm going to watch them. But
you like the old school matchups there, boy.
The ones that excite. So before we wrap up, let's touch up on sports betting. Nebraska is still working on legalizing online sports betting, which currently requires taking bets physically at casinos, which there's one in Lincoln, and there's one in
Grand Island. Any Grand Island?
No, well, yeah, I think there's one in Grand, and there's one in Columbus now.
Oh, Columbus has one now?
Columbus has one officially open a couple weeks ago.
Oh.
So the move towards online betting could make things more consumer friendly, as people have less time to walk into places and will be able to do it online. We're hopeful it'll happen soon, so look out for that.
Also, if you have a betting problem, there's a phone number to call.
Yeah, and maybe don't bet.
Yeah.
So,
if you know you have a betting problem, stay away from it. Get the help that you need. Yeah, that's the best thing I can tell you.
If that is it, any side notes, anything?
Not that I can think of.
Well, then that is the end of today's episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Fruitful 3 show. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Wherever you're at, subscribe. And follow us on social media, which should be the Fruitful 3 Show or Fruitful 3 Show. Let me check that. It'll be in the description for sure.
I can guarantee you it's the Fruitful 3 on Facebook. I can confirm that one.
If it's Fruitful 3 on Facebook, then it's Fruitful 3 on Instagram.
As I say, I can confirm that one.
For more updates, because I got updates, awesome. I'm powerful. And analysis, because Levi's the analysis, I'm just the guy that sits there and writes scripts.
He writes the scripts and then he reads them, and then I throw in random facts here and there if I want to.
Yeah, we'll catch you next time with more Nebraska sports news, whenever that will be. But next week is NFL, so stay. So we'll be back with the NFL news next week, especially Chiefs versus Ravens.
Yeah.
And Ravens are going to win. But that will be a topic for next week. So peace out, peace, love, happiness, and unity. And I don't know what else to say. I'm rusty at this. You got anything? You got a goodbye slogan?
Nope. Go Huskers. Go Big Red. Go Chiefs.
Ravens.